First of all, I would like to introduce to you our first topic, which is how to build using 1H limit order protocol. Please give a warm welcome for Mr. Nikita Kozlov, backend engineer lead of 1H.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick. Nice to meet everyone of the specific structure. After that, this user needs to share this limit order through our API. Basically, it just needs to share the structure, the conditions of this order to everyone. And next, you just need to wait until it will be executed, until somebody will be okay to execute this order. So another party who actually executes the order is market taker. It's basically someone who wants to earn on this trade, who is okay to trade with these conditions. The best example, it will be actually if, let's imagine that there is exchange rate, for example, like right now for one Ethereum, it's like 1,200 DAI. Let's imagine someone wants to trade one Ethereum for 1,010 DAI. If it's okay for you, you can arbitrage this case. It's okay for you to execute this order. So basically, you can earn some fees on executing these orders. And that's what market takers do. They basically arbitrage the market and just get the profit into their own wallets. So basically, what market taker needs to do, basically, you just need to search for basically suitable okay limit orders via 1H API or using P2P, for example, communication. After that, we need to fill limit order using a smart contract. And actually, you just need to also have some assets to fill this limit order. Basically, if you need to fill limit order with DAI, you need to have some DAI on your wallet and have approval for that. But basically, the whole communication between market maker and market taker. So the overall scheme is kind of like this. So firstly, we need to sign and send an order to the API, to the storage. The market taker needs somehow to search for this specific order. After that, we just need to execute this limit order, and market maker will get funds from market taker via smart contract. The main idea here is that we execute all limit orders on the smart contract, and there is a guarantee that specific constraints, specific things for this order will be executed. There is a guarantee for that, for these conditions. So let's talk a bit about limit order structure and how it looks like. Basically, there are multiple ways how you can use limit order. There are two options. The first easy one is using API on JavaScript. If you just need to create or fill limit orders, for that case, you just can use the JavaScript utils library. It's open. It's actually available on 1H documentation site. I will show the links a bit later. That's the first option. The second option is you can actually adjust limit orders to build something more on it. For example, we can build marketplace of NFT based on limit orders, as an example. Basically, limit orders allows you to trade any asset, not only ERC20 asset, but actually any asset, even NFT asset or any asset that can have some specific interface implemented. So I just want to take more about limit order structure. It will be pretty useful for you if you want to go deep, if you want to somehow to change the structures or go to the solidity part of limit orders. Just want to say that actually it's open source, so you can take a look on it, you can fork it, or do anything with it, anything you want. Basically, I just want to pay attention to some things. The first one actually is making amount, taking amount, take your asset data, and make your asset data. These fields actually allows you to specify how you can execute, how the tokens, what is the rate of your limit order. For example, sometimes there are cases when you have linear, you have static formula of static rate for your limit order. So that doesn't matter how much you fill this limit order, the rate will be the same. But if you will implement functions using maker asset data and taker asset data and get making amount and get taking amount, you can actually specify the rate for each type for each moment of filling the limit order. That basically means you can build, for example, auctions, like Dutch auction, for example, on limit order, on our limit order protocol. Also want to give you to take a look about predicate, permit, and interaction fields. Basically, these three parts are pretty important. Basically, permit allows you to actually, we do support permits permits on most of the Ethereum ERC20 tokens. So if tokens support permits, you don't need to use gas to make approvals on the smart contract for this token. You can just sign a structure for that. It's pretty useful if you don't want to pay any gas from user side. Predicate is a pretty cool feature that allows you to specify additional conditions. We have multiple default conditions like timestamp constraints, I will talk a bit more about predicate later. And also interaction actually is like a callback. You can always use interaction to do some operations with user funds before it will be executed and transferred to the taker. So that's how actually you can fill limit order. Basically, this is the main function for order execution. You just need to call fill order function on the Solidity side. We do have a JavaScript implementation for the fill order. So basically, what do we need to fill this order? It's just actually v4 signature for type sign data, v4 signature for maker address. In some cases, it can be a wallet, or in some cases, it can be another smart contract. It depends on. It actually doesn't matter. You can execute order on any contract. But I just want to pay attention that if you use smart contract as a maker, you just need to implement the signature function to verify the signature from your side. So making and taking amount is actually the amount that you want to fill. There are multiple types of limit order. In the default one, you can fill limit order multiple times. It depends on the remaining amount of maker and taker. But basically, you can specify making or taking amount that you want to fill, and we will calculate the returns for it. And the threshold amount is actually its min return amount. Basically, it means when you use taking amount. Let's talk a bit more about predicate. It's pretty awesome feature that actually makes limit order not only a limit order, but actually more like arbitrary execution, arbitrary trading, gasless trading stuff, because we allow you to actually build any custom predicate on our limit order. So you can, for example, make a predicate that says if the DAI price goes below than 1,000, I don't want to make a limit order for my trade of link to Ethereum. So basically, you can use any predicate that you just need to implement it on the smart contract level, and there are some default ones like. For example, pinning on the market side on the limit order, or like timestamp below condition that allows you to actually execute trades during the specific timestamp. So yeah, a bit more about get taker and get maker amount. Basically, there are default functions that shows how we calculate the rate of each amount. But you can actually re-implement it, and if you will re-implementing it, basically that means that you can have your own price formula for each moment when your limit order will be filling. And a bit more about execution of the limit order. Basically, each time we execute limit order, we use actually this code. You need to take a look on it. If you will try to use, for example, a smart contract, you need to implement a specific additional call that allows to check a signature from your smart contract side. Yes, this is the case. Basically, how we validate signature on the smart contract side. This is like an example of the calling is valid signature on your side. So each time you use a smart contract, you need to implement this callback. Let's talk a bit more about interaction and the use cases for the interaction side. The best use case for interaction potentially can be a case when you need, on the default cases of limit order, when you use a limit order, you need to have a funds on the user side, not locked anywhere except limit order. Basically, each time you execute limit order, by default, you need to have user funds locked somewhere. But in our case, you don't need to do this. You can basically, for example, stake some assets on Compound or on the Aave for the DAI, and on the moment when all the limit order will be executed, you can use interaction to actually withdraw user funds from the DAI and fill this limit order at the same moment. So basically, you can do multiple things at the same time. You can, for example, sell something for the DAI or like buy something using DAI, and also do some API like farm or staking somewhere these tokens. You can do everything like in the same moment. And for that, you basically just need to implement interaction. Yes. So basically, there are two options how you can start using limit order. There is a quick start with on our documentation portal. There are multiple examples how you can use it using JavaScript. It's like the first core code. And also there is open source code of all our limit order on the Solidity side with tests on the right. Basically, if you want to use limit order using smart contracts, I do recommend you to take a look on our tests and on the right link of limit order. And I also want to say that actually right now we are working on V3 version. It will be available like in the next couple of weeks, and it will allow you actually to use limit orders in even more gasless way than right now. It will be even more efficient, but currently V2 is the last production version, and I think the transition to V3 will be actually pretty painless. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I will be here.
Thank you, Mr. Nikita, for your wonderful sharing.